Hello, this is a short video presentation on our review of fractions. This will be done in 3 parts. The first part is on common denominators and equivalent fractions. As I probably mentioned in class, I intended to, you do not have to write down in your notes anything that's on the PowerPoint portion of this presentation. I provide you a PDF that you can print and include in your notes. All right, first of all, why are we going to review fractions? No matter what we do, math, science, computer programming, you name it, we perform operations on numbers. Add, subtract, multiply, and divide on all types of numbers, including fractions. So we need to know how to use them. The other thing, in a lot of applications that involve mathematics, we perform operations, add, subtract, multiply, and divide, on fractions that have variables. Can't use a calculator with that. So we have to know the procedure on finding it. We can't just rely on our calculator. And of course, like everything else in math, fractions are fun. Here's some basic vocabulary that I expect you to know. I'm never going to ask you for a definition, but I expect when I use the term numerator, denominator, etc., that you can actually, that you know what I'm talking about. So numerator, denominator, least common denominator, equivalent fractions, mixed numbers, improper fractions, and reduced fractions. Numerator and denominator, top and bottom. You know this. Least common denominator. It's the smallest denominator that 2 or more denominators can be divided by. 6 is the least common denominator of 2 and 3. 6 is divisible by 2, it's divisible by 3. There's many ways to find the least common denominator. I'm going to show you just one simple way. I don't care how you do it. So let's look at two numbers, 6 and 10. I want to find the least common denominator. We abbreviate it LCD. So I write down 6, I write down 10, and then I multiply 6 by 2. I multiply it by 3, I multiply it by 4, I multiply it by 5, multiply it by 6, and so on. I then multiply 10 by 2, 20, by 3, 30, looking for a match. And I see right here, I have a 30 up top, a 30 here, 30 is my least common denominator. There's other ways. Again, I don't care how you do it. I just expect that you can find the least common denominator. Equivalent fractions are fractions that have the same numerical value, but they look different. They differ by a common factor. So let's look at equivalent fractions. If I have 2/3 as a fraction, if I multiply the numerator by 5 and the denominator by 5, same number, I get 10 over 15. These are equivalent fractions. Equivalent, sorry about my handwriting, equivalent fractions. All right, nothing more than that. If I gave you numbers like 18 and 32, if I divided 18 by 2 and 32 by 2, I get 9 over 16. 18 over 32, 9 over 16 are equivalent fractions. equivalent. Okay? That's all there really is to it. Mixed numbers, written as a fraction here, written as a mixed number here, where there's a whole part. Generally speaking, I always want you to leave your answers as improper fractions, which I'll talk about in a second. We had 2 3/4, 2 3/4, and the way we got the fraction is we take 4 times 2 plus 3. 4 times 2 plus 3 over 4, which is 11 over 4. All right, and we're almost done here. Improper fractions, otherwise known as top-heavy fractions, have a numerator larger than the denominator. Even though it uses the term improper, we leave our answers in this form. And lastly, a reduced fraction has no common factors in the numerator and the denominator. Always reduce. So let's look at one last thing here, reducing a fraction. If I have 32 over 48, I keep finding equivalent fractions. I can divide by 4, and I get 8 over 12. Then I see, hey, I can divide 8 by 4. I can divide 12 by 4. And I get 2 over 3. Now there's nothing that goes into 2 and 3. This is our reduced fraction. Always leave your answers as reduced fractions. All right, after you've watched this and taken your notes, go to the second and third videos. Today, the videos will be a little bit longer in total than usual. All right, thanks for listening and have a great day.